I think there's going to be a revaluation uh, for gold. And, you know, if you double the gold price, you're basically saying the dollar is cut in half. But I like to look at it as a dichotomy. You got a financial value of the dollar and you've got a purchasing power of the dollar. The financial value of the dollar is very much determined by dumping treasury bonds and liquidating derivatives. And the reality in households for the value of the dollar is how much was my food bill for my family of 4 and a dog, because I know you like dogs.
Now we'll show you the best clips of the latest interview. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss out our daily recaps. Join our WhatsApp channel for real-time updates, breaking news, and expert predictions on gold, silver, and financial markets. Link in the description or pinned comment. Stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out.
The dollar is a mystery. Most people haven't figured out the dollar. I've been misquoted many times in the last 3 years. Jim really thinks the dollar is going to crash. I never said that. No, I said the dollar will rise some more, and finally rise again before it vanishes. And it's going to rise like a supernova because of treasury bond dumping and derivative liquidation. It is exogenous factors that are coming in to play. I noted 47 factors that are aiding the gold market, gold and silver, and I put that in the February report that was posted last Friday. I've never posted since 2003 that many reasons. I had 25. One article I wrote, it was with goldeagle.com. It was back in 2003, a year before the newsletter was launched. I was just a young buck, and I realized, these economists are pretty stupid. They work for banks. They work for the government. They're corrupt to the left or they're corrupt to the right. They don't know what the hell's going on. They're misrepresenting the gold market. And I wrote 25 reasons why gold will rise. And it did in the next 3 or 4 years. Well, now it's like, here's 47 reasons, and that's kind of a magic number with Trump. Here's 47 reasons why gold is going to go to 5,000. And it's coming. And we're going to get, oh gosh, when they break the silver market, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know that it's going to happen. And when they do, you're going to see Fibonacci playing music, 10, 20, 30, 50, 80. I have a joke that I give to people. I say 10, 20, 30, 50, 80. What's next? Multiple factors. You can't just say, well, we need a cheaper dollar than Doge with all the budget cuts. That'll make everything fine. Now, we need foreign direct investment. We need more oil supply. We need lower price for gasoline, diesel, for the entire distribution chain. We need incentives for the supply chain to overcome the damage of the lockdown. The lockdown really harmed the supply chain. That's where we got a lot of price inflation. We need encouragement for the supply chain. We need foreign direct investment in the hundreds of billions per year with fast track. Fast track. We need to get to production within a year, even if it's just low grade production. We need to get it within a year. Of course, yes, we need a cheaper dollar, but it's going to be very difficult. I tell you, we're starting to get, in a very real way, my forecast from 2015, 16, and 17. The dollar's going to rise, then rise some more before it vanishes.
In today's news recap, gold prices are forecast to rise another 8% this year. The price of gold has surged more than 40% since the start of January 2024, repeatedly shattering records. Goldman Sachs research forecasts the rally in gold will continue amid demand from central banks. The price of the precious metal is predicted to climb a further 8% to $3,100 a troy ounce by the end of 2025, analyst Lena Thomas writes in the team's report. The team's previous projection was for gold to rise to $2,890. The increased forecast is underpinned by higher than expected demand for gold from central banks, which have been increasing their reserves of the commodity since the freezing of Russian central bank assets in 2022 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As well as stronger central bank demand, Goldman Sachs Research anticipates a boost to the gold price from increased purchases of gold ETFs as declining interest rates make gold a more attractive investment. Those factors may be somewhat offset by speculators reducing their net long positions on gold in futures markets, which is projected by Goldman Sachs Research to weigh on the gold price somewhat. Net long positions are currently very high as concerns of sustained tariffs from the Trump administration drive investors towards safe haven assets, including gold. But continued uncertainty, whether it's about tariffs, geopolitical risk, or fears about high government borrowing, could also push speculators to increase their long positions in gold. This scenario would drive the gold price as high as $3,300 per troy ounce by the end of 2025, Thomas writes in the report.
Hi, I guess we're early. And he recognized immediately that I didn't recognize him. And he was really modest about it. And he said, you're Jim Willie? And I said, yeah, I just started a newsletter a couple of years ago, and I'm kind of new at this, so I came early so I wouldn't get lost. I don't know Vancouver very well. I said, what's your name? He said, Rick. Just Rick. I knew who Rick Rule was, but I didn't recognize him. So we were talking away. We're talking for 20 minutes, and the other people come in, and he said, well, nice meeting you, Jim. Good luck. He was probably the nicest, most encouraging person at the conferences in the next 2 years. I was there for 4 years. I did 15 conferences. And he told me once, Jim, you bring a different angle to this. I know you're a statistical guy, but you bring in a different angle. You bring in currency, economy, and that's what I try to do, the exogenous factors. And he said, you're entertaining. Don't lose that. Don't lose that. And I said, no, I don't think I could if I tried. And we laughed, and he walked away. It took me 24 hours to learn that was Rick Rule. It was a friend of mine. I said, yeah, there's a guy I met. There's a guy I met at the dinner last night. His name was Rick. He said, Jim, that's Rick Rule. What? Okay, pretty funny. It was funny. Very, I was naive. I didn't know people. I met Bill Murphy. Bill Murphy was with me in Munich when I got the death threat. Bill Murphy was really nice to me, calming me down. I mean, he held my arm and offered me a glass of wine. I said, no, pineapple juice will be fine. Structure, after I talked about the more accurate accounting, I think we're going to get a verification of what the debt is, and it's going to be higher than what we think. I think we're going to have a restructure of the debt. I think we're going to probably see some kind of a gold revaluation, and it's not going to be, I really, honestly, there's a really good argument that it could be like 15 or 20,000 for gold. There's a good argument for that, but it's not going to touch more than a quarter of the debt. Okay. I have a firm belief based on a hint from an intel source, a military intel source. It's a really firm hint from a couple months ago that Trump is going to have a fumble on restructuring the debt and what do you call it? A reform of the dollar. He's going to have a fumble. He's going to be arrogant, and he's going to think he has it all figured out. He's going to have a plan. He's going to fall on his face. And then we start stage 2. Well, that didn't work. What are we going to do now? Okay. You can't have a 30-year problem. It's actually 50 years. The first trillion was, right after at the end of my college days, 73. The first trillion was Vietnam, and it just ramped up. It's been doubling over every 8-year period now when we had those 8-year the narco presidents. Okay, I'd like to tell something. I'd like to say something. we're needing to recover now from 30 years of narcotics presidencies. Papa Bush, Clinton, Baby Bush, Obama, and the Biden show because he was dead. Biden was dead. Let's get over it. Biden was dead. What that guy was not Biden. It was some British actor. Um, we have to get over 30 years of narcotics presidencies where they were in a hidden fashion installing communism in the United States. And we need to get past that, Chris, and it's not going to be a 1 year recovery for the debt that took 30 years to accumulate. It took more than 30 years to accumulate. Let me say something else. I got a little reminder to myself. I have no social network account that posts anything. I have no social network account that posts anything. So anyone who has a Jim Willie account, I know there are about 8 or 9 in Twitter and there are about 11 on YouTube.